Hello everyone. Welcome to this demo of the Oracle Marketplace app for Legacy Quote Migration Tool for CPQ Cloud, built by Argano. In this demo, we will start with detailing a simple use case. We will then move forward with setting up the data file spreadsheet for the tool and the setup of the application. Post that, we will see a running demo of the execution of the application. After the execution, we will look at the summary output. At the end, we will log into the CPQ environment and validate the results. To understand how the framework works, we will consider a simple use case and use the tool to migrate the data for two legacy quotes and create quotes on Oracle CPQ Cloud. In the first quote, we will set one header level attribute. We will also be adding two parts to the quote as quote lines. For these lines, we will set their quantities and their list price. Similarly, for the second quote, we will set a header level attribute and add four parts. In addition, we would also be adding two lines by configuring a specific model, setting custom attributes at the model level and then adding it to the quote. Note that in a real-time scenario, you can use the tool to migrate legacy data for very large number of quotes and set large number of attributes and quote lines. However, we have taken a very simple use case for our understanding. Let's have a look at input spreadsheet that contains the data for this use case. The spreadsheet contains of three tabs. The first tab contains the header level data. Each row represents data for one quote. Since we need to migrate two quotes, this sheet has two rows. The first column contains the unique identifier for the quote data. The variable names of the quote header level attributes are mapped in the header column. In this case, we would be setting the transaction name header level attribute. The second tab contains quote line level data. Each row represents the data for each quote line. The first column contains the identifier of the header transaction to which the transaction line should be added. The first two rows of this sheet contain the quote line level data for the first quote and the remaining four rows represent the quote line level data for the second quote. The quantity and the list prices values are mapped to the respective columns. The third tab contains the master mapping of the custom configurator attributes for each configurator model. This sheet maps which column of the configuration data sheet should map to which configurator level attribute. The fourth tab contains the configurator level data. Each row represents the data for one configurator model to be added to the quote as quote lines. The first column contains the identifier of the header transaction to which the configuration as a transaction line should be added. Using the mapping defined in the previous sheet, the configurator attributes would be set with the specified values. Data in this sheet will add two configured models to the second quote. Once the spreadsheet with the legacy data has been set up, the program is ready for execution. We would be executing the program on a local desktop. On starting the execution, the custom bulk quote creator utility parses the spreadsheet and validates the input data. The program then processes quote level data for each quote and calls CPQ REST APIs to create a quote and update the header. Similarly, the line level information is also added to the quote by calling the CPQ REST APIs. The configuration data is parsed and added to the quote by calling the configuration-related REST APIs. This way the application framework is able to successfully create quotes in Oracle CPQ Cloud by parsing the legacy quote data. Once the program is executed, it generates a summary output spreadsheet. The spreadsheet contains details about the program execution. Another tab on the output file provides details about each transaction processed. In case of any errors, the error message is also captured. We have just opened the first quote. We see that the quote name matches what was specified in the input. The quote has 2 lines as specified in the input file. It also has the quantities and the list prices set as specified in the input. For the second quote too, quote name matches what was specified in the input. The quote has 4 quote lines. The quantities and the list prices match as per the input. In addition, it also has 2 configurations. On reconfiguring the models, we see that the model has the same attributes selected as specified in the config inputs. We have successfully validated the output of the application. Thank you.